You meet her, and the world goes quiet. It's not the loud silence of an empty room, but the hushed reverence of an ancient library. All other voices, all other faces simply fade into muted background noise. She looks at you, really looks. Not with the casual glance of a stranger, but with an intensity that feels like an archaeological dig into your soul. You feel seen, perhaps for the first time in your life. Her words are a perfect echo of your most private thoughts. She loves that obscure band you thought no one knew. She understands your strange, melancholic moods. She finishes your sentences, not with cliches, but with the exact words you were searching for. You think, finally, someone gets me. You think, this is a soulmate? This feeling is a potent, addictive drug, and you are becoming a willing addict. But you must understand a critical truth. This is not a meeting of souls. This is an interrogation disguised as intimacy. This is not love. This is reconnaissance. The narcissist's primary tool in the beginning is the mirror. Not a physical mirror, but a psychological one. She is not showing you who she is. She is showing you who you are, or rather, who you've always desperately wanted to be. She becomes a perfect reflection of your desires, your dreams, your unmet needs. You are an artist who craves understanding. She suddenly becomes a connoisseur of the arts, speaking your language with uncanny fluency. You are a seeker of intellectual depth. She will quote philosophers you admire, debating theories with a passion that seems to rival your own. She is a chameleon, a void, a shapeshifter. Her personality is not a fixed thing. It's an algorithm designed to match yours. As this bond of intoxicating familiarity deepens, you begin to open up. You feel safe. So you give her the keys to the locked rooms of your past, the childhood wound that never healed, the secret insecurity that haunts you in the dead of night. You tell her about your fear of failure, your feeling of being an imposter, your desperate need for validation. You offer these vulnerabilities like sacred gifts, believing they are the building blocks of true intimacy. You are mistaken. She is not receiving these gifts with reverence. She is a quartermaster taking inventory of your arsenal. She is a spy mapping the fault lines in your fortress. Every secret you share is a pin placed on her tactical map of your psyche. Let's call him the Collector. He lived a quiet life, a man who found beauty in things others overlooked. His passion was collecting butterflies, each one a fragile memory preserved under glass, a testament to fleeting beauty. His solitude was his sanctuary and his curse. He longed for someone who could understand his delicate world, someone who wouldn't see his passion as morbid, but as a form of poetry. Then he met her, the chameleon. She didn't just tolerate his collection, she was enchanted by it. She learned the Latin names of each species. She'd listen for hours as he spoke of their life cycles, their symbolism. She told him, "You don't just collect dead things, you preserve moments of perfection." He felt a validation so profound it brought tears to his eyes. She was mirroring his deepest artistic justification back to him. Feeling safe, he let her into his deepest chamber of fear. He confessed his terror of being insignificant, of his life's work being forgotten, of his entire existence being as fragile and easily crushed as the wings of his specimens. She held him, comforted him, and promised he would never be insignificant to her. He believed her. He had handed her the complete blueprint to his soul. The mirroring phase does not last. It is merely the data collection phase. Once the narcissist is certain they have you, once they have a complete psychological profile, the mask begins to slip. It starts subtly. A small, cutting remark. A joke at your expense that feels a little too personal. A moment of coldness where once there was warmth. You dismiss it. A bad day, you tell yourself. But it's not a bad day. It's a system check. She is testing the weapons. She is seeing how the information she gathered can be deployed. One evening, the Collector was excited about a rare specimen he had acquired. He was explaining its beauty when she cut him off with a sigh. "You know," she said, her voice dripping with boredom. It's a bit sad, spending all your time with dead things. The words struck him with the force of a physical blow. Dead things. The very phrase he feared, the very judgment he had trusted her to absolve him from. She had taken his sacred justification and twisted it into a pathetic insult. He tried to argue, to explain, but she just smiled that cold, empty smile. "Oh, don't be so sensitive," she said. "I was just kidding." She was using his sensitivity, the very quality she once pretended to admire, as a flaw. The final blow came during a fight. In a moment of rage, she looked at him with pure contempt and said, "It doesn't matter what you do. In 100 years, no one will remember you or your stupid little hobbies. You are insignificant." She had taken his deepest, most secretly held fear, the one he had gifted her in a moment of ultimate vulnerability, and fashioned it into a dagger. Then she plunged it directly into his heart. In that moment, the mirror shattered. He wasn't seeing a reflection of himself anymore. He was seeing a predator who had studied its prey, learned its weaknesses, and gone in for the kill. This is the narcissist's endgame. The mirroring phase is designed to disarm you. The vulnerability you show is not for connection, it's for ammunition. They create a perfect fantasy to make the eventual psychological violence that much more effective. They need to know your deepest fears so they can use them to control you. They need to know your insecurities so they can amplify them. They build you up into the person you want to be, only so they can have the satisfaction of tearing that person down. So how do you protect yourself? You don't build higher walls. You don't vow to never be vulnerable again. That is letting them win. That is letting their poison corrupt your capacity for true connection. The answer lies in awareness, in pacing. True intimacy is a slow dance, not a sudden merger. It is built over time, through consistent actions, not just intense words. Pay attention to what they do, not just what they say. Does their behavior over time match the perfect image they presented at the beginning? Are they capable of genuine empathy when you are in distress, or is their comfort just a script? And most importantly, watch out for the mirror. If someone seems too perfect, too good to be true, they probably are. If they feel less like a new person and more like a missing piece of yourself, be cautious. You are not looking for a reflection. You are looking for another person with their own flaws, their own story, their own soul. A true connection is not about finding your twin. It's about two separate worlds learning to orbit each other, respecting each other's gravity.